So Stim and Suggestion have continued. The sound equipment continues. They're back on their bull crap today pretty good when it comes to stim blast to my brain. And the sound equipment, instead of the chirping, they're going back with the sirens, which they know absolutely symbolizes to me every time they do it. First one I'll go to right now is Breonna Taylor, because nobody still will say her name in my presence. Like, I'm somebody that is not for people. But second, I'm gonna go to George Floyd, because metaphorically speaking, the people that you're supporting, the people that are producing whatever the actual scientific name of what I call stim blast it is, are just like torture terrorists, psychopaths, and it gets confusing. It's hard to keep any level, any degree of focus. But they continue to, that if you're struggling to breathe, would you be able to focus on any kind of task besides trying to breathe? Liberty, a soul's right to breathe. The definition of liberty. Let's see what comes up. The condition of being free from confinement, servitude, or forced labor. The condition of being free from oppressive restriction or control by a government or other power or other entity that has, technology that is powerful that they choose to use for psychopathic, sadistic, terroristic manners, for God knows what reasons. A right to engage in certain actions without control or interference by a government, other power, or other entities like a government or government-sponsored, government-funded. 4. The right or power to act as one chooses. 5. A deliberate departure from what is proper, accepted, or prudent. Yeah. Especially when what's accepted, proper, prudent, aka cool in society, is evil. A breach, overstepping of propriety or social convention. One more time for number 6. A breach or overstepping, or both, overstepping and breaching of propriety or social convention. 7. A departure from strict compliance. 8. A deviation from accepted truth or known fact. So, is the truth that is popularly accepted actually the truth and actually a fact, or is it something that's just known and accepted? 9. An unwarranted risk, a chance. 10. A period, usually short, during which a sailor is authorized to go ashore. That's more of a fucking outright example, but sure. in the idiom usage, because those are all liberty as a noun. Not in confinement or under constraint, aka free, at liberty. Entitled or permitted to do something. I call bullshit on the entitled or permitted to do something. But able and free to do something. Not confined. Not under constraint. These things, that doesn't make any sense to me. That's a little bit paradoxical, but hey. To dare to do something on one's own initiative or without asking permission, yet entitled or permitted to do something is the one they have right above it. Let's go to, apparently 5 days ago, Merriam-Webster decided to update their definition. Liberty, the quality or state of being free. 1A, the power to do as one pleases. 1B, freedom from physical restraint. Stim blast. 1C, freedom from arbitrary or despotic control. D, the positive enjoyment of various social, political, or economic rights and privileges. I like that. E, the power of choice. Yeah. 2, a right or immunity enjoyed by prescription or by grant. No, yeah, that's privilege. Big difference. You say a right and you end it with privilege. Freedom should be freedom is a God-given right. It's man that has made it into what they feel to be a privilege instead of a right. B, permission, especially to go freely within specified limits. 3, an action going beyond normal limits, such as A, a breach of etiquette or propriety. Familiarity. B, risk, chance. A violation of rules or a deviation from standard practice. 4, let's go with D, a distortion of fact. 4, a short authorized absence from naval duty, usually for less than 48 hours. Okay. I can't really speak to that. Liberty suggests release from former restraint or compulsion, or the compulsions and restraint of others that are oppressing you by restraining you compulsive, like their OCD is like taking and raping my liberty, keeping their knee on my neck. Has a broad range of application from total absence of restraint to merely a sense of not being unduly hampered or frustrated. Implies freedom specially granted or conceded and may connotate an abuse of freedom. Example sentences I got to here. A nation that values liberty and democracy. Soldiers willing to die in defense of liberty. Yeah. They gave him the liberty to handle the problem himself without restraints because of the compulsion and obsession of torture. from others. Let's see how high I fly. Hard-won liberties such as freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom of thought. My thoughts are being read aloud. Nobody wants to actually address it to, with, for me, only at and about me. How would you feel if your kids were not only being tortured to the degree that their growing pains, the scrape on their knee from when they might have, fell over playing whatever sport or playing with toys, that before they can even speak, everything they see, everything, even their dreams, everything that they do is being analyzed in real time and suggested at to a degree that before they can speak, it'll have different levels of sound, like bottles popping to bells clanking to vents turning on and off, to then when they can speak, utilizing the definitions that they define to them, because subconsciously they'll be basically engraving it in them, branding more like. And really after that, when they are able to speak and directly communicate with the, application and actually deployment of language, they will be stim blasted to where they are actually in any sort of pain, or where they are most vulnerable to pain, so they won't bring up what's occurring to them to their own parents, to their own family, because that's how they were trained. Because the human condition, part of being a human is, at least for most of us, I'm pretty sure, we try to avoid pain where at all possible. Why pick up the pot by the pot when there's a handle? When the boiling water inside of it suggests that the pot's gonna be hot. You only gotta do that once, usually. Then oh damn, I ain't doing that again. People learn to avoid pain. So if they're being taught, brainwashed really, by way of avoiding pain, do they really ever have a chance? And anything that they might come up with, they envision, they dream of, will be taken from them and used by the government against them. Even though chances are, more than likely, the kid who dreams of that thing that they deem worthy of stealing, it is the one God gave that vision to for a reason. Because they're going to be able to do something with it that those who think, oh, well, that was a great idea, let's take this and run with it our way, is actually only stifling the possibilities of what it could and probably should be. Freedom of thought, freedom of oppression, freedom of tyranny, in a democracy. America. Come on, man. Come on. I got my hood on at this point, symbolic of same thing. If you ever see me doing this, that's because they're stim blasting my brain, and I'm getting used to doing it all on camera and saying it all out loud with the door open. Why? Apparently, having manners and being polite is misinterpreted as cowardice, as fear, as fill in the blank, whatever people have deemed it, labeled it, whatever the people that are in control of STEM suggestion and sound equipment have thought it to be, and realize, oh fuck, Yeah, he's right. Let's use this instead. Why? They're sadistic, like, just psychopathic terrorists, man. What? It's accurate. Like, the effects long term on being stim blasted to your brain. We're talking about like dopamine, serotonin, when all they're really getting is the release of like stress. They're draining me of energy, legitimately. Like, there's a reason why my eyes like are just physically forced to depressed to where I look like I'm faded or extremely tired, even though I am extremely tired. If you look at the bags under my eyes, even though I got a full night's sleep, I slept in for my standards. And what? Because I'm not doing what they want me to do, how they want me to do it, when they want me to do it, they justify their tyranny. They justify the stealing and the raping, the stifling of the breathing that is my liberty, and slowly watching as their knee on my metaphorical neck, insofar as liberty is concerned, slowly drains the life out of me until the last breath. Is that what it's going to take? Is it going to take literally me having an aneurysm from this? Because they don't actually have the data to really know any long-term repercussions of this shit? Let alone when you're on the inland archipelago, you could be surrounded by people in masses and be actually more alone. The hell? Their science is already proven to be shit. And they know I'm correct. I've proved it. And instead of bringing me in to actually make improvements on what they are considering science, which at this point, if that's science, we're fucked. I got faith in the kids. I got faith that we're gonna be able to. We're gonna be here a long time. We've been here a long time. We're about to be a multiplanetary species. We've done more damage to this one and made the need of having another planet that is habitable to continue our species' existence even more relatively a necessity. So before we go off and rape and pillage some other planets, let's figure out how to do shit right here. Huh? Come on, humans. Come on, Americans. Come on, libertarians. Humanists. Where you at? At 2502 or 2402 Leroy Street in San Bernardino, right off the 210 Waterman. Come say hi. Unless I can have a conversation with you face to face, basically, I can't trust anything because they've used every voice that pretty much any voice that I've ever heard. I'm talking about, like, if I give a name or a face, I literally will envision a face or on some level give a name, and they would use whatever voice. They've used my family's voices, they've used my friends' voices, my exes, I'm sure probably enemies even at some points. But I don't know who they would define as an enemy. To me, the only enemy truly is the inner me and these terrorists. And since the inner me is actually my own best friend now, Yeah. Terrorists. That's who's in control of the kind of technology that has a very high likelihood of being used on children at this very moment, if not in the very near future. That doesn't scare the shit out of people? That we're all being further programmed? Because we've been being programmed to accept a certain level of bullshit. Whether people want to continue to ignore that or otherwise. The fact of the matter is, they're able to do it to a whole new level. When you're able to legitimately keep up with, at the very least, 4 different levels of conversation and thought and vision. Like, I can be giving, literally, I could be talking like this, giving whatever kind of vision, symbolizing whatever they want to make, whatever it means to you. It's just sanity, safety protocols. I'm hoping they don't have 5. I know they don't have 6 and 7. Like, the fact that you wonder why, like, you want to see genius? 6 and 7's where it's at. 5 even, shit. I can't even, I'm having to film me filming. Because without doing that, I have no proof that this is all happening. So basically, I'm about to start trying to figure out how to live stream every action I have on computers while filming me setting it up and hoping that they don't delete the footage, because they have that much control of every single device, from phones to everything that has electronics. Anything that can be affected by basically like stim blasts. Sound equipment is one thing, but so is like sonic boom. Come on, man. Come on. It's like Sirius XM. Alright, let's just all hop on the radio and get on a government frequency. Alright, like ham radio, this shit. Let's also listen to number stations at the same time and see who remembers more. I don't have to do a damn thing. I'm responding to the voice in the background that I'm assuming cannot be heard. Yeah. On that note, seriously, the whole concept of liberty is how I want to end this little chapter of a video. Like, freedom of thought. I mean, how much do we have to give for freedom of speech, freedom of press,